Continuing series of apples, which particular varieties I recommend. This is Kids Orange Red. I highly recommend it. It was raised in New Zealand, I think about 80 years ago. It was going to replace the Cox's Orange Pippin, but it never really took on, and it's a minority apple now. You'll never see them, almost never see them in the shops, which is a pity. It's a good cropper. The crop on this tree, you might think it's a pretty sincere looking crop, and it is, but in fact it was even better than it looks, because I have been over this tree already and picked over some of the best and the biggest apples earlier. This year, sadly, as you know, we've had incessant rain through most of the year, and this is apple scab. These trees got a few sprays this year, but they didn't get anywhere near the industry standard, and they didn't get enough to stop all the fungal disease. But these have resisted it. These have performed better, for example, than Lord Lambourne. These have performed better than Lord Lambourne. I think this is an extraordinarily attractive apple. Last year, Julia and I went away for an art weekend with Rosie Saunders, who's the author of a book I've mentioned, and it is a wonderful book. She's a watercolour painter, and I took some of these with us, and people were very happy to see them. I think this is an extraordinarily beautiful apple, and I think beauty matters. It can be a very heavy cropper. It's ripe sort of late September, early October, and it'll keep through until Christmas. Obviously, with any apple, the cooler you store it, the longer it'll keep. You know, a lot of these have got spots on them, and our customers, even in a very difficult year, our customers probably might not accept those. It's a perfect one. This that ugly mark is from the chafer beetle. They bite in, and those apples that don't die immediately from the bite will heal up with an ugly callus like this, and that's been bitten twice. We can't really sell that. It'll make some very good cider. I'm often asked, what's your favourite apple? To which I say, well, it's like asking, what's my favourite piece of music? What's my favourite time of day? What's my favourite month of the year? I really like October, but I'd be very sorry to have to do without May, and I really like Mozart, but I'd be very sorry not to be able to listen to Joe Satriani. But having said that, if you actually had to make a choice, and you do have to make a choice of which apples to actually grow, then Kids Orange Red's got to be very, very near the top of the list. You can get crops like this. Wasps and birds take a share. Up to a limit, one can tolerate that. You can see these are dropping off at a touch. These should have been picked a week ago probably. They'll be that much riper for having been left on a little longer. The ones that drop will not be wasted. They'll be picked up and used for cider after due washing. This is a lovely apple. People have come back to me, having planted. That's for cider. People have come back to me and thanked me for my advice about this apple. When we first started planting apples 25 years ago, way before the web, the industry was already moving into just growing 3 or 4 mass-produced, industry-ready apples for the mass, globalised apple commodity market, and it was already getting difficult to find the real varieties. So most of the information we got was from books, and we thought, well, this looks like a good apple according to what we read in the books. Let's plant some and give it a try. Some of those we didn't think much of eventually, but this is one that we did think much of. Kids Orange Red. It's an apple you're unlikely to regret planting.